Well, let's talk about a couple of the polls that we put up over the last week. Again, thank you very much for everybody who partook in the polls. A lot of great comments, a lot of different things. Let's put them up. So we had 2 polls that went out right here talking about both Uber and Lyft on overall driver experience. And the inspiration was for how much work does Jeremy Bird at Lyft have? And
Holy
you
shit,
know,
bro. They're identical almost.
just about, yeah. So
Wow.
we had quite a few people voting on this. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you can see for the top one is Lyft. And for those who are just listening, the top one is Lyft. So we're going to go over that. And the bottom one is Uber. So it's how satisfied are you with Lyft driving experience overall? And 1 being extremely dissatisfied, 2 being somewhat dissatisfied, 3 is neutral, 4 is somewhat satisfied, and 5 is extremely satisfied. I bet I know who is the number 5s here. Sunshine Man, are you here?
Yeah.
So for Lyft's case, 56% said 1 or extremely dissatisfied,
Holy shit.
11% said somewhat dissatisfied, 17% said neutral, 4 were somewhat, or I'm sorry, 12% was somewhat satisfied, and 4% was extremely satisfied. So overall, 67% of people were not satisfied under neutral.
Wow.
Whew.
Wow.
King, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that.
King on my throne. I like that. Hey Sergio, I've noticed that if you decline multiple trips, Uber will make. Yeah, for sure. Do you have advantage versus standard in Philadelphia? Maybe that's the reason. Because you may have fallen under 25% AR or acceptance rate. And if you're under 25% AR, you automatically are a second-class citizen called standard driver, and you will get nothing but trip radars.
I don't
And the
think they
funny
have
thing is,
that yet. I don't think they
yeah,
have that yet, but I guarantee you that the
oh, they have it in LA. I know they
algorithm,
have it. They're I asked them,
well,
I get
I
everything on
guarantee
trip
you
radar,
that the
Chris.
algorithm is probably pushed out to do that.
I'm not buying that. They said, no, we can't do it in LA, but in California because of Prop 22. Uber directly told me this, and I'm going like, no, you're guys full of shit because every time I'm doing rideshare, all I'm getting is trip radar. I'm like, or 90% I'm getting on trip radar. And when they go, we don't have advantage versus standard in California. I'm like, yeah, you do, because how am I only getting in trip radar trips? How am I not getting exclusive pings? And once you're in that jail, Chris, you can't get out of it because everyone you accept on trip radar, if you're a standard driver, does not count towards your acceptance rate. What kind of shenanigans is that? I mean, I'm not sure. What kind of independent contractor thing is that? This dual citizenship. But this is fascinating to me, these numbers. 56% on Lyft, 55% on Uber, extremely dissatisfied.
Yeah.
Are you really,
Jeremy,
guys,
if you're
extremely
watching,
dissatisfied?
you got some work to do. So just raise the overall experience. This isn't even
Somewhat
breaking down into the others.
dissatisfied. Normal. I mean, honestly, they're like identical numbers, bro.
Yeah, just about.
I mean, only one difference is somewhat dissatisfied is 11 on Lyft and 16 on Uber. So extremely dissatisfied and somewhat dissatisfied on Uber is 71%. And on Lyft is 67% combined too. That's massive. That's like 2/3.
Yep.
Why are you all driving if you're unsatisfied? Just
And
stop.
if you're in the chat watching this right now, where are you? And just put 1 through 5. Where are
Yeah,
you
do
on
that or go
Uber and
vote.
Lyft
If you didn't vote, go
overall?
vote. You need more vote. I will send these to the companies. This is final or no? It's still open, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
a
go
community
vote.
tab, so
Go
it's
vote. If you
always
did not vote, go on the community page. Go vote for. There are some good polls. I saw you broke them down to like segments of overall earnings and deactivations and support. Right? Yeah, I like those. So we will get like maybe we'll let these run 10 days and then send it to the companies. Oh, earnings. Look at this. So
what
85% of you saying somewhat or extremely dissatisfied? Why are you all driving? Quit. Do something else. This is bullshit.
1% said they were extremely satisfied. Jeff, where are you? I know that was you.
837 votes. I mean, we know this is not scientific, but 837 people are a lot of people.
Yep.
Well, that extremely satisfied is not me.
I mean,
Again.
honestly, if you look at the national polls for president, when they're doing the candidate,
Yeah, there's a couple
some
thousand
are
things.
doing 300, 500. So, I
Yeah,
mean, this is you could extrapolate that by using some deductive reasoning, and you can
yeah.
figure it out there.
Look at all these ones. Okay. No, I am not
All right,
surprised,
well,
Jeff. But
Sergio, where are you at?
I'm just kind of not surprised. But I'm also like, uh, Daniel goes, yes, quit so the search can come back. Yeah, let's go talk to your illegal aliens right next to you. But no, this is unbelievable. I mean, I would have thought this would be like not
Well,
this.
where are
This
you at?
when it comes to deliveries, I am 4
You're
or
somewhat
5. Let's say
satisfied?
5. I'm a 5 when it comes to deliveries. Plus, they float my money. And when it comes to rideshare in LA, I
Wait. So
am
you're
2.
extremely satisfied that they're floating your money?
No,
You're happy
but
that they're
no,
floating
the
your
other
money?
way. 1. I'm 1. And then
Oh, you're one. Okay. Okay.
when it comes to rideshare, I would say I'm between 2 and 3. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's pretty much where I reign too, 2 and 3,
yeah. 1
because
is.
it's
I mean, look, I can't be
if
extremely
you're at 1,
dissatisfied because
you
I'm
gotta.
doing it. I mean, I'm not sure.
But the big thing too is we all know there's a lot of people out there who say, "I'm making $30 an hour, I should be making 40 or $50 an hour."
We talked about that.
Um,
Expectations are too high. It was like,
yeah,
come on.
so the expectation, you think you should be getting paid way more than what you're probably
Yeah,
actually worth.
yeah.
Um,
Actually, you should run a poll like that. What do you
but
have a
you
poll like
should
that?
know your worth.
Yeah, you put a poll like that, didn't you? One of the ones like what should be the minimum fare? Did you see the results of that one? I'm not going to
What?
say it, but I was like shocked. I go, in your dreams, people. Expectations are
What?
ridiculously high.
Oh, the
Like what
minimum?
should be the
Yeah.
minimum fare be? Did you see the overwhelming answer? I was like,
Yeah,
you guys are
7 to
dreaming.
10.
This is never going to work. Okay, what? Let me see Uber again. 71. Was Lyft? Uber was what? 75? Oh my God, 71. Identical.
Just about, yeah. So the two that are different, or the couple that are different, here, hold on. Let me put it to there's Lyft. Uber's was 71, 14, 8, 5, and 1 versus 71, 10, 10, 7, and 3.
Okay, James, I know you would talk quite a bit or email anyway. I did not drop anything, but talk to Aaron. Aaron knows about it. But we will have something coming up. I don't drop things. Trust me. But so 71 and 10 and Uber was what? 71 and 15? 1 and 2?
71, Lyft 71, 10, 10, 7, 3, and Uber was 71, 14, 8, 5, 1.
So 81 and 85% respectively, somewhat dissatisfied or extremely dissatisfied with earnings.
Yep.
That's I if this was like this in my like trading or whatever, I wouldn't do it. I quit. I'm just like I can do something else.
Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. The reason why, I mean, beyond that, there's a lot of higher expectations, but the other side of the coin too is how many people have been driving for several years, and so they know, pre-COVID, they know during COVID if they were doing that, even just after when everything was starting to reopen. I mean, look at some of the bonuses and the things that were going on when it came to trying to get drivers back onto the platform. And today it's a lot different because there's an oversaturation of drivers versus the need for drivers. So there's wild swings that are going on. So I mean, I can understand there where people are like, look, I'm really unhappy, but the question is that regarding earnings overall, meaning how much you're making because there's not many rides coming in, or is it earnings per ride that you're not satisfied with? So that's maybe something that we should break it down a little bit further, when it comes to earnings per ride versus overall earnings. Trying to make certain money, and what the difference is there, because there is going to be a difference, and that is, are you happy with the amount that you're making on a per ride basis, or I mean, why would you accept it in that case? Versus how many ride requests are actually coming in to how much you're taking and all that stuff, versus how many bonuses are even available to you compared to what it could have been, in a previous couple of years.
Yeah, I
Those are a
mean,
lot of
look,
things to take into account too.
I think we did that last week on the State of the Union. That is my seriously one question that I cannot answer. And people ask me, why does Uber have 50% more drivers year over year than last year?
Well, you know what?
7.5
Honestly,
million
let's go
drivers.
back. Let's go back to the behavioral economics. Uh,
Yeah, but at
re-
some point, if you're
that's
doing this and you can't pay your bills, behavior
yeah,
goes
but
all out of the
how
window.
long? How long does the average driver stay on the platform?
Yeah, that's true. 8 months, 10 months max.
So in 8 months, they're going to figure it out. And the average
Yeah,
typical driver, I'm assuming, is going to be part time or a
yeah,
weekend warrior doing this to do some extra money and not really taking into account the expenses or anything, or maybe they are, or they're figuring it out, and that's why they only last 8 months.
yeah.
So,
Those
and
are
again,
all
that's
people
that's
who.
that's the average. That's the average. That doesn't mean you're forgetting the low end. Like,
Yeah, yeah, for
okay,
sure.
there's a couple of drivers that sign up. Maybe they do it for a month or two and realize, hey, this ain't worth it, or I'm not making what I thought it was, and then they don't. So, how do they count them into the mix when they're bringing in new drivers? And
Yeah,
again, you go back to that article. He didn't know, and that's the normie. That's the person who hasn't been doing it for a while, doesn't understand. Uber and Lyft did a hell of a marketing job, from 2013, and especially in 2015, 2016, 2017, when they were really pushing to scale. They did a hell of a job at marketing. Hey, come on when you want, earn money when you want, flexible, free. You don't have to
well,
be you're your own boss, that type of thing.
they still do
And
it.
they still do it to a point, but it's not what it was. But the thing is,
Well, no,
for
because
10
we have
years,
channels like
that's what
ours.
people have been seeing. So
No,
people are thinking that, people are understanding that until they actually get behind the wheel, start driving, start seeing what's going on. They
yeah,
don't understand that. They're still under the
no.
illusion the same thing that guy is.
That's why I feel like, seriously, that's why I feel like Lyft is running circles, okay, around Uber. Not because I'm gonna see Jeremy tomorrow. I've seen Jeremy. I met him in person at least twice already. The point I'm trying to make is that they see. I'm not saying they are. Tomorrow is going to tell me quite a bit, right? How he acts amongst a physical, actual, hostile crowd, because people are not happy, okay?
Yep.
And they're going to surround this guy, and hopefully, everybody stays calm and cool. Don't be assholes over there. And the guy, I mean, and they told me they're going to keep doing these pop-ups, in different cities, and listen to the people on the street, not their DAC, that Kool-Aid drinkers over there. So to me, Lyft is really trying to do things. Uber is doesn't give a shit, like
Yep.
nothing, other than me.
Yeah, because they're
With
giving
this
you the other.
special app. Now I'm actually concerned that they're gonna wipe my whole phone clean now. That thing is gonna be like blow up at one point.
No, they
One
installed the
morning I'm gonna
keylogger,
wake
so
up,
now
the
you can
phone
get in
is
your
not gonna turn on.
email and everything else. And
Everything is gone, blown up. Oh god, they have accessed my everything.
our
But
text conversations.
yeah, well, yeah, a lot of the texting is between me and them, so they better get used to that. But anyway, so yeah, the Lyft is. I really
Look,
think Lyft is doing
hey,
more.
here's the other thing. I was just for shits and giggles, I was looking up a
Good
couple of
question.
things around my area to see job wise what were people offering and all that. Um, One, bus drivers are always in need. And there's a local bus driving station not too far from where I am. They're hiring starting $19 to $30 an hour. You're guaranteed 7 hours a day for 5 days a week, so you're at least 35. You get a pension, you're getting employment benefits as well as
Okay.
retirement benefits on top of the pension,
Yeah.
paid CDL, or I don't know if it was paid CDL or not, but you
No, but
basically
I
get
think it makes
CDL.
sense.
And it's 10 months out of the year. You could work in the summer if you wanted to. And this is going on in many areas. That's just the one that I looked at, saw. And it's like, if you're online 80 hours, you're probably working the same time buses are working at. And you probably could go and get a job and do that and then work on, Uber and Lyft during other times when it's busy or not, when you want. And then that way, you're guaranteed a certain earnings. I mean, if you're making 25 an hour for 35 hours, that's pretty decent money. You're not spending the same car maintenance costs because it's a bus that you're driving. So, the school or the bus service that you're actually providing the transportation of is paying for the gas, is paying for the maintenance, is paying for everything. And you're just getting paid on top of that. So, the amount that you'd have to spend in order to get to and from the job and home is what you're going to spend. What's that? 6 miles, 8 miles, maybe? I mean, that's a lot better than maybe 200 miles and getting $28 an hour. So, I
Well,
mean, these are a couple of things. That's just driving a bus, but there's so many other things out there too. And it's like, you could probably figure out a lot of different things that you could. Hell, I mean, it looks like the Golden Arches are hiring for some workers.
yeah, no, I mean, look, there was one question that we'll answer and then we'll finish today's show, which somebody asked me that on Coast to Coast year anniversary show yesterday, which it was. Okay. So Levi from Syracuse asked me, Sergio, what do you think is fair? What should be a fair hourly pay for a rideshare driver, right? And there was somebody just asked that question just now. Here was my answer, and the answer is going to stay the same. I said the risks of driving full-time 5,000-6,000 miles a month, it should be commensurate. And I'm not talking about the risks of just driving, because that's 5,000-6,000 miles a month is a lot. The risks of 30 strangers getting in your car, I mean, those are all added risks, obviously. And if you're driving at night, more risk. But overall, I said, and I want to hear your answer to that too. So I said, whatever the minimum wage is in your city, okay? For example, in LA, minimum wage is $17.50, okay? Or in most cities in California. I said, if you're not earning 50% more than the minimum wage of your city on a gross basis, I said, you should not be driving. That was my answer to that question. So 50% of 1750 would be about $8 more, 25, 26. That's net, by the way. I'm not talking gross. So on gross, you got to get 31, 32, take 6, 7 out. You're at 25. So on a net basis, you should be earning 50% more doing rideshare than you would do at a minimum wage job standing around somewhere. Then that's what I think rideshare is worth. Drivers saying $50, $80, $100, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, this is not rocket science. You're driving point A to point B. This is entry level, pretty much. Yes, the risks are higher, and that's the risk premium I'm putting in there. So I'm saying 25 net, I think, is fair for doing rideshare.
I mean, it depends too on the services that you're allowed to provide because of the car that you drive. So if you're driving, black or something, then you should be making more. If you're driving a larger vehicle, you should probably be making more too because you have more expenses. If you're driving a Corolla, or if you're driving a Prius and you're thinking $100 an hour, bro.
No, I'm talking Uber X and Lyft Standard. Like here, he says $50 an hour. There's not a chance. Master plumbers make $60 an hour. What are you talking about? And the guy has a license. You have no license. You have nothing. I mean, I'm not trying to put the rideshare thing down, but it's not rocket science. Driving point A to point B, I think 25 net in a city like LA or California, let's say, I think is reasonably fair. Net. I'm not talking gross. And gross, that would put you at 31, 32. Because you have $5-6 in expenses if you're driving a reasonably newer car. If not, maybe you have $4 or $5 in expenses every hour on the hour. But that was my answer, and I think it's fair. $50, nobody is going to pay you $50 an hour for any job. Nobody, especially driving people around. It's not going to happen in your dreams. So the expectations are too high. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I tried thinking about it, trying to figure it out, but the problem is I think what you had mentioned is probably the best answer because there's so many different areas that have different minimum
On
wages,
average.
different costs of living, and there's a lot of factors to take into account when it comes to that. So, New York City, LA have much different costs of living than say Nebraska or West Virginia, when it comes to things
No,
like
I
that. So,
understand. Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's going to change, but I guess the ability to also make more than that, I think that should be a floor. I don't think that should be the ceiling. Um, and the better you are, the more you're able to do. You should be able to see those earnings go higher. So you might say you're netting. I'm sorry, you're grossing 31 an hour, and I'm going to stick with grossing versus netting, but you're grossing 31 an hour, but maybe you're able to get it to 35 to 40 an hour, maybe 45 because you're doing a lot more because you're driving a lot longer. You're doing a few different things that's going to put you ahead in the pack. So those types of things I think can play into it as well too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I honestly think expectations have gone too high, and the comparisons to the good old days is not relevant anymore. Honestly, oh, I used to make, I used to. It's not I used to. That game has changed. There's no more I used to. So this is the new, this is the new paradigm you guys are dealing with, and the companies are what they're doing, what they do. But I think to drive in the old days, I used to make $60 an hour with shits and giggles, hour after hour.
Mhm.
Well, it's not there. So now. I think that's about fair. About 30, 32 gross, 25, 26 for rideshare. I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah. And I would say again at a floor, but being able to go higher than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, with a little strategy, you can bump that up. With a little know-how, you can bump that up. There you go. And here's Nassif says, yeah, that's what it is. What are you complaining about? That's $40 an hour, 50 hours for $2,000. That's 40 an hour. What do you want to do, Nassif? You want to make $10,000 for 50 to 70? I trade stocks 50 to 70 hours a week. I can't make 2,500 a week. So I'm not sure what you're saying. I mean, I know you're complaining you want to make 50 an hour. You are making that money. 50, you said 50. So 50 times 50 is 2,500. You got to drive,
Jose,
man.
the best insurance that you need to get is what's in your needs. You got to figure out what your needs are and get the insurance that's going to best reflect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I have no other information. I don't know what state you live in. I don't know what area. There's a lot there. So, there's a insurance guide that the Rideshare Guy has that can help you and can put it in your state. So, just Google search the Rideshare Guy and then insurance, and that should be one of the first ones that pop up. And it gives you a full state breakdown. So you just select your state, and it gives you a couple of different places that you can at least see what insurances are there.
Yeah, best insurance, you got to do your own due diligence on that. I mean, if you're looking for P1 additional rideshare insurance, most companies, if you have like Farmers, State Farm, they do offer that. Progressive offers it, I think. I don't think Geico does, but you need to do your own research in your own city.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.